Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Yay! It's been a crazy less than 24 hours in the Big Brother house. We have a lot to talk about. Thank you all so much for being here. Our house guests of the day are Jenny Swendener and Kevin McPherson. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for holla. And before we get started, I also want to thank our super chatters from yesterday because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So, Jefferson Tucker, Nina Sosa, Lynn Hurst, Hiyoko Sayanji, Sean Davis, Chris F., Mia Perez, Callie, Lisa, Debbie Prishgoda, Jessica Greenwald, and Mark Dean. Thank you all so much for your super chats. We really appreciate it. My hair kind of looks like I don't like it right now. It kind of reminds me of like a movie villain with like a movie villain guy with like long hair. I don't know. I don't like the way it's falling. But anyway, I'm going to try and get past it. I see we have some super chatters today already. Thank you so much. Jefferson Tucker. Jefferson says your spoilers are fire, bro. Thanks, bruh. Susan Pengilly, thank you so much for the super chat. You're my number one. All right. I'm just overwhelmed by how much has been going down. Okay, so here we go. When we left off yesterday, Turner was getting ready to make his nominations. But before we get into that, I just want to give you a quick overview of the Fessy Besties twist because I think that's important, especially if you didn't watch yesterday's spoiler. So everyone is paired up right now. We've got Turner with Jasmine. So because Jasmine is with the current HOH, she is safe for the week. Another week of ordering people around, asking or demanding food from them, all sorts of things. Hopefully she won't ask somebody to wipe her again. I don't know. Taylor and Nicole are paired up. Michael and Brittany, Kyle and Daniel, Monty and Joseph, Indy and Alyssa, Amira, and Terrence. Okay. So, the way that this is going to work, Turner nominates one pair, and then that pair will face off against the HOH pair and a randomly drawn pair for the power of veto. So if the nominated pair is saved with the power of veto, they both come off the block. It's not just one, it's both. And then a new pair would be going up in their place. But only one person is evicted. So we still don't know yet how long this twist is going to last. We also don't know what happens if your festy bestie is evicted. You know, are you kind of sidelined? Do they have some other sort of plan for that person? We don't know yet. The house guests don't seem to know yet either, and it's like freaking them out. But anyway, Turner's plan here, he would like either Brittany or Taylor to go this week. And keep in mind, this is where things stood at the end of yesterday's spoiler. Things have changed, but we'll get there. So yeah, he was thinking he either wanted Brittany or Taylor to go this week. And I have to say, as everybody was doing their one-on-one conversations with Turner, most house guests were trying to blame the vote flip for Pooch to go on Taylor, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, they'll try to blame anything on Taylor, right? So Turner was originally planning on putting up Brittany and Michael as pawns, kind of. If the veto wasn't used, Brittany would be the target. If the veto was used, Taylor and Nicole would go up and Taylor would become the target. So honestly, by the end of yesterday's spoiler, the next few weeks were looking bleak AF with this twist because the Pose Pack Alliance, I mean, they were smart in what they did. They had everybody in their alliance pair up with somebody outside of their alliance. And they figured, like, we're all going to be safe for the next few weeks. They're going to take advantage of it. They're always going to be able to vote out the person in the duo that's not in the Pose Pack Alliance. So they figured we're going to pick off Taylor, then Brittany, and then Indy, and that's it. So it was like, why are we even watching? Like, this is so boring. But we also saw yesterday some signs of more cracks in the Pose Pack Alliance. So Kyle, Monty, and Michael were worried that Amira, Alyssa, and Nicole are just going to use their old school alliance, which Alyssa told Kyle about. They're going to use that alliance to take out the rest of Poe's pack once they get to jury. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they were planning, if not sooner. They were planning on targeting some of them before jury if they could. So they were right on about that. Definitely should be worried about it, but it's going to become important. So before the nomination ceremony, Turner had a little chat with Brittany and Michael together in the HOH room, and Turner says, all right, tell me if you're not cool with this, but I think that the best thing to do this week is to backdoor Taylor. I don't want to put her up as one of the initial nominees, so I want to use you guys as pawns. Nobody wants you to go home. I cleared it with everyone. Excuse me, sir. You cleared with everyone that Brittany would be the target if the nomination stayed the same. He didn't mention that part. But he says, I keep wanting to call him Kyle because he reminds me of Kyle Mooney. Not really looks-wise, but like personality-wise. I'm getting extreme Kyle Mooney vibes. But Turner says, I trust you guys. And Michael, you're a beast in competition. So there's a really good chance that you're going to win this power veto, and you're not even going to have to worry about it. So Michael agrees, yeah, the backdoor move is probably the safest option in order to get Taylor out this week. You know, he's not feeling great about being the pawn, though. Turner says, I'll understand if you guys, you know, win HOH in the future and you put me up on the block, but I hope we'll still have a good game relationship moving forward. So Michael's like, yeah, well, I'm never going to be like, yeah, just put me up on the block. But Turner tells him, honestly, like, this is the best situation for you to be a pawn. That's what Pooch thought last week. So Michael has a question. What happens if Taylor wins the power veto? She's your target this week. What if she still gets to play and she wins? So Turner says, I would talk to Taylor and tell her to use the power veto on you. I highly doubt that. At that time, anyway. Now, yeah, I see it. But then, So then it was time for the nomination ceremony. And as planned, Turner put Michael and Brittany up on the block. So after the ceremony, Monty, Amira, Michael, and Kyle are chatting in the bathroom. And they're feeling like Nicole is like raring to go. She wants to go up on the block with Taylor as the replacement nominee after the veto. Because Nicole seems to think that once Taylor is evicted, she's going to get like some sort of power or advantage for surviving the block. Or you could be like Pooch and they'll just vote you out instead of Taylor, but sure. Honestly, though, I don't know that they would get a power after surviving, you know, if their bestie goes home. Big Brother hasn't said anything about that yet, so who knows? But Amira says, I feel like things are going really well right now. They're hoping that Brittany's not going to get crazy on the block this week. She got very upset and emotional when she was one of the backstage gals week 1. So they're worried that she's going to spiral while she's on the block. And they need her to know, like, she's just a pawn here. Taylor is the number 1 target this week. So Monty's like, damn, I just feel like there's almost nothing to even talk about this week. It feels pretty good. You know, we got everything all set. When you hear that, it really makes it seem like this twist flopped. They should have so much to talk about. But Amira agrees. She's like, yeah, everybody in our alliance is actually aligned. No one's arguing. No one's bickering yet. And Kyle says, this is how the first few weeks of Big Brother should go. He says, just very straightforward. Boo! No way! That's boring. We hate it. All right. So in other news, oh my God. Taylor can do no right with these people. Alyssa, Amira, and Jasmine were gossiping yesterday, complaining about Taylor for a number of reasons. First of all, she was like flirting with all the guys, giving Joe a massage. They were saying, oh, it made me feel so uncomfortable. Really? They were complaining about this one incident. I guess Alyssa, okay, so we know Alyssa and Indy are on slop this week. So Indy is not taking it well. We know that as well. So Alyssa was eating some sort of like slop soup or something. I don't know. I feel like it's like salsa with water in it. I don't know. But there may have been more to it. I don't know. But she was like, "Oh, Kyle, try this." And then Taylor was like, "I'll try it." And she had some. She was like, "Wow, this is great. Like, it's not that bad." So apparently, have not, blah, blah, blah. You're saying it's not that bad. And Alyssa, she's going to go off on Taylor about anything, right? She's going to talk so much crap because she's super jealous. But anyway, especially when anything with Kyle is involved, right? So another thing, apparently Taylor bumped into Jasmine's injured ankle by accident, and she made her foot go the other way. It was a freaking accident. So, they're going to be talking about this all week. It's going to be exhausting. But the soup thing was brought up multiple times throughout the evening. Indy was saying it's disrespectful for Taylor to be enjoying the soup so much in front of her when she's a have-not, and saying like it's not that bad, blah, blah, blah. So Jasmine eventually removes herself from the conversation because she says she doesn't want to look like a bully, which just makes me think that the diary room must have talked to them about Taylor again and like not being jerks. That's what it seems like. But we've already seen it all. Jasmine and co, we know. So anyway, Taylor and Turner are chatting in the bathroom, and Turner asks, "How are you feeling about the nominations?" And Taylor's like, "Well, it's not me up on the block for once," so she's pretty excited about that. So Turner says, "I hope I built some trust with you by not putting you up there." And Taylor's like, "Yeah, you did. I'm just hoping that the plan is not to ultimately put me up after the power of veto." So Turner says, "Nah, it's not like that calculated of a move. I didn't want to do that to you again." At that point, it's like bullying. Again, at this time, the plan is to put Taylor up as a replacement nominee, Taylor and Nicole. So Taylor says, "Whatever you want to do, I'm on board." And Turner says, "Hell yeah, that's fire." Okay, so later, Brittany is by herself in the have-not room, and she was having a rough go of it yesterday. She's crying, just really upset, and she said it wasn't just because she was on the block. It was more than that. She says this is really hard. She feels like she's not fitting in, but she doesn't know what exactly to do about it. It's always harder, I feel like, for the house guests that are married to fit in, because they're just like at a different point in their lives. So she's also an introvert. She needs time alone, and she can't get it in the house. And she says she misses her husband and her family, and she feels like she's letting them down. She feels like she's super boring and weak, but she really does not. Oh, Brittany. Oh, it says I have an unstable connection. Can you guys still hear me? I think it's okay now. So then Brittany does some self-hypnosis to calm herself down. So it's good that she has techniques like that to like bring herself back, Okay, we're still good. Good. Okay. So a little later, Indy confronts Taylor in the Jetsons' bedroom about #Soupgate. So we didn't have audio for the beginning of this conversation, so I'm not sure exactly what Indy said to Taylor, but we do hear Indy be like, "I know it's not intentional on your part. I'm really not in a good mood right now because of the slop, and I just wanted to talk to you because I didn't want this to turn into something bigger. I'm upset about the situation, not with you." Okay, so a little later, Taylor's alone, and she's talking to the cameras, and Taylor's like, "Somehow, I've become the villain. Everybody else goes harder at each other than I go at anybody else, and yet I'm always the villain." But she says she takes it because it's not worth having the entire house against her. That's so sad. She says, "If I'm actually hurting people, I want to learn and grow from that." But she points out some of the things that people say are rubbing the house the wrong way. Like, there's just such minor things, especially compared to some of the things that other people have been doing and saying. So Taylor says she's frustrated, but she's going to continue to go out there, put on a good face, because what else is she going to do, right? But it's really hard for her because she feels like she can't win. If she keeps to herself, people think that she's weird. If she starts hanging out with people, they say that she does things that rub them the wrong way. So she's got a really tough challenge right now, and it sucks that she's even in this position in the first place. I feel so bad she has to deal with this crap. It's really not right. So yeah, that made me very sad. But the house guest celebrated Joseph's birthday at midnight. He's